And this, viewers, is a debate that is taking place on the back, really, of what has been a frenetic campaign in Bihar. Now, viewers, democracies work because the people have a say. Their vote counts. But what if contestants decide to ignore the people? In other words, disrespect their wishes. Something like this happened in US in 2020. Then the supporters of Donald Trump, who had lost the election, refused to accept the outcome and stormed the US Capitol, the cradle of its democracy. Why? Because certain American Trump supporters were told without proof that their vote was stolen. If you've been observing politics for the last 6 months in India, you will recognize that something like this is happening in India too. After whipping up hysteria over the Election Commission's poll revision exercise, which was compared to a vote loot, now the opposition is suggesting that the EC is working with the NDA to rig the outcome. Hundreds of RJD supporters and some candidates descended upon the EC strong room in Rohtas district of the state, alleging that officials were moving, quote, manipulated EVMs, unquote, in trunks into the counting center. And you can see those pictures. The officers disproved the RJD's claims by opening each and every trunk. And as you can see in those pictures, they were empty. But that hasn't stopped the RJD or other parties of the opposition from fanning rumors, fears and disinformation. Sample this. Quote, this time they, that the NDA, will make all attempts to slow down the counting of votes. They will create fear in district headquarters. They will take out a military flag march across all districts in Bihar to murder democracy so that there is fear in the people, unquote. Then Sunil Kumar Singh, RJD spokesperson, the electorate has voted for change this time. 2025 will see Tejashwi Yadav sweep to power. In 2020, counting was stopped for 4 hours. If this time something like this is repeated, the streets will explode in anger like they did in Nepal, unquote. The RJD says, why was a truck allegedly loaded with EVMs sneaked into a counting center in Sasaram, which is the picture that I was showing you, by the district administration without any prior notice or transparency? Krishna Alavarappu of the Congress says the concern is not only during counting but also before. There are reports of discrepancies. We have put all the facts before everyone, unquote. Sanjay Singh says, I've been saying one thing clearly, that vote theft will have profound effect on the outcome of this election. It's undeniable that 80 lakh votes have been stolen in Bihar. Now, some would say the remarks are an incitement to violence, which is supremely ironic as the opposition claims it is the guardian of the constitution in India. How does this call for anarchy square with that promise, viewers? Let's ask that fundamental question. And let me bring in Dr. Sumansi Raman. Dr. Raman, if the outcome goes against tomorrow, against the MGB, would you attribute it to all these things that these leaders are suggesting it could come down to? Vote chori and so on and so forth?
Rahul, first of all, I think we need to understand that the Election Commission faces a very serious trust deficit. At the very least, what Rahul Gandhi and many of the opposition leaders have established is that voter rolls across states are a mess. There are duplicate votes, and there are votes which of people with wrong IDs, with wrong names. All of that has been conclusively established. Now, does that translate into vote chori? No, to me it does not. But having said that, what has been the reaction of the Election Commission to each of these? It has hardly inspired any kind of confidence in the system. So I think that this trust deficit is what is making the opposition parties even more concerned, and they see a conspiracy in every single move. So a lorry turns up, even if there are empty boxes inside that lorry, there is panic all around and people think something is going on.
Okay.
So you have to understand that this trust deficit has to be addressed.
Okay.
And no, if you say, I will not release CCTV footage, we will not give it to you in...
so can I ask you a question, very quick follow-up question, Dr. Raman?
Yeah.
Very quick follow-up question. If tomorrow the MGB wins a handsome victory, what happens then?
No, these issues remain. What Rahul Gandhi spoke about Mahadevpura or Aland or...
how will these issues be corrected?
These issues need to be corrected by the Election Commission on coming clean.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
It happens through transparency.
Through
Election Commission has got... No, 1 minute, Rahul. do you or do you not agree that election rolls have discrepancies which have been pointed out? Let's not get into vote chori. Let's not get into whether false votes have been cast.
The
do
point,
you agree or not? Yes
no,
or
of
no?
course,
Yes or no?
everyone knows. Listen to me.
Everyone
one second,
knows
Dr.
that.
Raman. The one way of curing this.
Voters,
one second. The one way of curing this is the one way of curing this is through an SIR, which I don't know why the opposition is opposing, but that's a separate question. But I want to ask you, is there a link between this and vote chori? Because that is what it's coming down to. So I'm asking you this. Is there a link, yes
Rahul,
or no?
Look, Rahul, my point is very
No,
simple.
is there a link, yes or no?
1 minute. If somebody is taking efforts to manipulate the electoral rolls, there must be some reason.
Okay.
You can't just manipulate electoral
now
rolls
one second.
for the heck of it.
Response.
Now,
quick response.
So far they have not established. 1 second, let me finish.
They have not established, right?
They have not established.
So they have not established. I'm glad.
Fraudulent voting.
Yes,
but
okay. So if they have not established, and I've seen your sensible. Okay, but I have seen your very sensible ex-post making that distinction. That's why you're here, Dr. Suman Siraman, and thank you very much for clarifying that. So why are these political parties then going out there and talking about vote chori through this process? Because you see viewers. Because you see viewers.
There must be a reason.
No, because you see viewers.
Somebody
One
just for the
second.
heck of it manipulate electoral rolls.
So 1 second, Dr. Raman, there are other ways of addressing this issue,
Can I come in?
which is to file an affidavit, which they have not done, a sworn one within a deadline that was set. Nothing of that has been done. Anyhow, yes. Ms. Sanju Verma, quick response, and I want to move on to the next. Yeah.
If those errors are
now, please, Mr. Raman, I heard Rahul. I don't understand. What is this? You say quick, Sanju Verma, and then Mr. Sumant Raman interjects.
Yeah. Okay. So
you had your say.
Yeah.
Now let me speak.
Okay. Go ahead. Make your point.
Yeah, I'm making my point, and I'll be as quick as possible. Let's get one thing very, 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 very clear. The Election Commission invited Rahul Gandhi to come and put forth his suggestions, his feedback, his allegations, what have you, on the 17th of June. Rahul Gandhi MIA. On the 21st of July, Rahul Gandhi MIA. On the 13th of August, Rahul Gandhi MIA. On the 8th of September, Rahul Gandhi MIA. The Election Commission invited Rahul Gandhi on 4 separate occasions. Rahul Gandhi obviously knows if he meets the Election Commission, his bluff will be called out. Doodh ka doodh aur pani ka pani hoga. Point number 1. Very quickly, Rahul. You can add voters only after filling in Form 6. You can delete voters only after filling in Form 7A. And after polling is held in every polling station, Form 17C is given by the returning officer to the polling agent of the ruling party candidate and the opposition candidate. So were opposition BLAs snoozing for the last 1 year in Haryana? Rahul Gandhi wakes up after 1 year and says Haryana mein chori hui hai. He wakes up after 15 months and says Maharashtra mein chori hui hai. I want to ask one simple question very quickly. Wait, Rahul. There was a 64-day window in Haryana between declaration of final roll and the day the polling was held.
So let me just ask a baseline question.
Were not used.
Okay, Mr. Jain, let me ask you a baseline question without getting into these technicalities. Just wanted to ask a baseline question about tomorrow. Mr. Jain, if you were to lose, will you accept the outcome of this election? Yes or no? Simple.
Rahul, the questions that have been raised by the opposition will continue to loom whether the opposition wins or whether the opposition loses.
Will you accept the verdict as a fair verdict? Yes, no.
Obviously, nobody can accept the verdict as a fair verdict.
That's it. That's it. Viewers, I'll rest it at that. I'll leave it at that. Tomorrow, be prepared.
There is a problem.
Be prepared.
There is a problem, Rahul.
Be prepared tomorrow. Be prepared tomorrow to link SIR to vote chori, which something that even Dr. Raman says has not been substantially proven. But tomorrow it will happen, viewers, if in case the MGB loses. If they win, of course, will they give the EC full marks? No, viewers. They'll continue it for the next election also.